Amazon CEO asks his Hollywood studio to explain its big spending because in the last couple of months they have released at least a half a dozen pricey series that failed to connect with domestic audience. Well, who needs to connect with domestic audience when you have diversity? Like, isn't that enough though? Isn't that enough? If I see a straight, cisgender, white troll on the television, instant connection. It's like the fabric of the universe binds us together, regardless of how horrible the writing is. Long gone are the days where you could actually empathize with the character based on relatability. It's like, oh, look, this character grew up in a farm. I grew up in a farm as well. Oh, I can relate with that. Oh, look, this character is late for class. Oh, I used to be late for class as well. I can relate with it. No, now, it is the pigmentation. It is the skin color, the pedigree. How did your parents fuck? What ethnicity were they? Are they the same like the character on the screen? Then you must connect because we have diversity. I don't even know what to say. Some people say, well, it's the ESG scores. And it's like, okay, well, if it's the ESG scores, why is the Amazon CEO upset about this? Because that's another interesting aspect, right? Like, you can still have ESG shit and also have a good product. Like, they're not mutually exclusive. Like Capcom, for example, right? Capcom has Marisa, a very progressive, forward-thinking character for the new era. But they also have Cammy with the leotard. Right, and they have like characters of different colors, different creeds, and ethnicities, and people from all walks of life, which we are all caring about while the economy is burning. The diversity is number one factor in everything we do now. But it is possible to get the ESG box and place the customer. What I think is happening though is that in America, especially in California, you have certain individuals that are very bigoted, right? Like, they go to university and they are taught to hate other people who think differently. So, for example, you hire these people in your company and they cannot work if a right-winger is next to them. So they will try to get the right-winger fired from the company, regardless if he is a good person or not, regardless if he's good at his job or not. So you end up with all of these people that think the same. Most of them seem to have childhood issues, and they use the media as a way to fix their trauma, as counseling for themselves and other people. But the problem is the overwhelming majority of the population do not relate with their issues. So this is probably why audience cannot connect, as they say. Meanwhile, in Japan, that doesn't happen. Like at Capcom, it's probably a business decision. It's like, okay, well, we need progressive shit in our game. Okay, make Marisa, but keep Cammy as well. And, you know, like, they're basically, like, looking at it, how can we get the ESG bucks but please our customers too? And without fucking over our company. I think that's what they're doing, and it works. But for Amazon Studios, that doesn't seem to work. Apparently, the CEO is taking a hard look at how much the company studio spent on original TV programming. Apparently, in recent weeks, he has asked executive for detailed budget analysis. Oh my god, it would be so interesting to see if some of the money ended up being siphoned, right? But the very fact they're finally looking into the cash, it means that they're not doing well financially, which is great, because it's moments like these where the people who can't swim get to sink. And honestly, there's a lot of fat. There's a lot of fat at these companies, people who literally do not produce anything. Like, you can still make the product without them, and they're paid a lot of money. They get to stay in offices with the air conditioning and stuff. Meanwhile, the actual people that actually do the work, they get to suffer in open offices, and it's horrible. So anyway, the Hollywood studio, which has spent tens of billions of dollars on original programming over the last decade, is an obvious place to look for savings. Last year, Amazon spent $7 billion on original shows. In the past 9 months, Amazon has released half a dozen of shit that I don't even care about watching. And it's not connecting with the audience. By the way, my wife was watching Wheels of Time on Amazon. And my wife barely speaks English. She doesn't really know anything about the politics. Doesn't even know what a Democrat is. But she was watching Wheels of Time, and she's asking, like, why are these women so fucking ugly? And why are all these beautiful men interested in them? How do I even explain that? If it causes such immersion breaking in a person that is not connected with your politics, yeah, maybe this is why you can't create timeless classics. Like if it, when Walt Disney created Mulan, it resonated with people from across the world. But when Amazon is now creating shit, like unless you're into America woke ideology and you're one of the very few selected that understands what it means, you're not going to, like you're looking at that show and yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like why are these middle-aged women that are very plain looking, I would say like they're like the girl next door, but I would be insulting the girl next door. So why are these like all plain looking women like managing to attract these very successful, very peak athletic, beautiful men that could have any woman they want, but no, they choose them. Right? It's immersion breaking. Kind of like He-Man and Teela. It's like, when you look at Teela, it's not only that she looked bad as a character design, but like, she was selfish, obnoxious. Like, I wouldn't even want her as a friend. Self-centered. Right? Why would you want that? And why would He-Man, the prince of that particular kingdom, why would He-Man even want to be with her? Like, he can be with literally any other woman. So apparently, streaming services want shows made in English to connect with viewers in their biggest market. Amazon has long escaped the scrutiny that other entertainment companies attract because it doesn't report detailed financial results for its studios. But apparently $7 billion in the cost of a company that generates 500 billion sales. No, that's not a correct way to put it, by the way. It doesn't matter if the company generates $5 trillion in sales. Everything a company makes must make a profit. Okay? Unless they want to use it for something else, like propaganda, sometimes it happens. But most of the time, no, like companies like whatever project they have to make a profit, and if it doesn't make a profit, they cancel it. Because that's how companies manage to... See, if a company makes $5 trillion, it sounds like a lot, right? I don't think there's a company that makes it. BlackRock, maybe? But anyway, right, if a company makes a lot of money, it can't afford to just have projects that are not profitable because eventually the company is going to have to downsize. Like even a 10% loss for a company, regardless of how much money it's making, is devastating. Because they have to fire people. They have to cancel projects. So apparently, they're struggling to understand why the shows don't work. Well, it's not even the woke ideology itself. It's the people that you hire. Like, if you hire bigots that cannot work in a team with a right-winger that's in it, then yeah, you're not going to... like, Japan manages to make good shit because they don't have to deal with this. Right? Bollywood manages to sell its movies because it doesn't have to deal with this. So my opinion is that it's not necessarily like the movie is woke or whatnot, because there have been shows that are woke, which are good, like Has Been Hotel, for example, right? There are a couple. But the main issue is that the inclusivity from diversity, inclusivity, and the inclusivity part. Like, you're hiring absolute raging fucking bigots that cannot possibly work with anyone that they even suspect may have a centrist viewpoint. Not even left, not even right-winging, but like centrist viewpoint. And that is the problem. And until you fix this, you're going to have bad movies. Like, even if these people were to try to make a movie that is actually true to the source material, they can't. They can't. It's impossible. They're not talented. It's like asking a fish to do the 100 miles jog. You can't. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.